I hope you're reading things that are really transformative rather than remember that, like Malachi told you all, God never looks what? Never looks back. And all this old stuff has got to go. Right?
Yeah.
You do remember that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry now?
I'm reading my spiritual packages, the books that you
I got you. I follow you now. But I send those books, Malachi mostly, because people just so used to, I use them for filler, but they used to seeing it, you know, because they served a purpose at one time in our journey, just like when you were in church, the Bible did, you know what I mean? But it's just, yes, we're on another level of consciousness now, and so I don't want to retard you all and take you back to a religious state of mind, you know, unknowingly. So the things I'm going to share with you all tonight are more elevating and transformative. See, what you're looking for, Cheryl, is that you want things that are really going to start making an effective change in your life, empowering you and giving you more control over your life, like a supreme being, rather than a being that's worshiping God or looking for help from God, but the self-realization that you are God. You follow me?
Yes, true.
That's the only thing that's going to help you. You have to save yourself with that knowledge. All right, Patah, how's our pantry looking?
Okay.
All right. Okay, dope. All right, now, who has a spiritual experience they'd like to share with us? Well, let's start with that first question, family. We're looking for that. Yes, I'll do my very best. Go ahead.
All right. We've gone over it many times in the past, but I'm trying to, come from a different angle with it, as far as the differences between spirit and soul, because we've been taught that the combination of the spirit and the body.
That's on one level, yeah. There's the binding of the spirit and the mud creates living soul, right?
Right. So, what I'm getting at is, as far as life in this world, the body and the spirit of this world would combine to create a soul for this world.
The living soul, right.
Living soul.
But remember I told you all a long time ago that you have several versions of the soul. You have a personal soul, then you have an oversoul. Then the planet Key, Earth has a soul. Then you have a soul over the universe, over the galaxy, you follow what I'm saying? So ultimately, the Creator has a soul, of course, right? And doesn't have a body. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on. So that's what it means when he says, and I created man a sound and clear black mud fat, they say, blew my breath into his nostrils, and thus he became a living soul, right? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
You have an oversoul that you share in the same way that you have layers to the mind. You follow me? You have a walking wake mind, a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, a super subconscious. Right? It's got to do with all these 7 shadowy stages of yourself. You hear what I'm saying at that?
Yeah.
So I try to describe soul to people on a basic level for them to understand. Right? Just the concept of it. It's what makes the difference between people that on American Bandstand and Soul Train, right? The basic being in harmony with the rhythm of the universe, which has a pulse, a beat, like a nurse that takes your pulse and she looks at a watch while she holds her fingers on your wrist, because he's looking for the cadence of the universe. If you're in tune with that universal soul, are you following what I'm saying? You following me?
Yeah, following.
But that wouldn't necessarily mean the soul of the Most High create like that. You know what I mean, right? That's just if you're in tune with the universal soul. You see, on that level, even white people get,
So, as far as we continue to ascend, and what I'm getting at is, as we visit these realms, what exactly are we taking with us? Because, the body and the
right. It depends on who you are and what you leave with. It's the same thing when you go to sleep, right? Or like this reference, and for those of you that are sleeping this, so shall you be in the next. In other words, if you waste your time here in non-improvement, you follow what I'm saying? Then if you go to sleep and wake up the next morning, or you pass away, and then you wake up in another realm, you're not going to be have an epiphany and be all of a sudden like, ta-da, I'm a conscious supreme being. You know what I mean? If you wasted your time here on foolishness, studying frivolous foolishness and, non-improvement. You'll keep going back to religious books, or when, you're saying you follow a teacher, say like Malachi, and he keeps telling you God never looks back, and there's a new God in town, and so all this old stuff, he's coming, he teaches outside the box. He's going to teach you completely different. And all this old stuff has got to go. And then after they hear that, they pick it up anyway. They keep saying he's the Messiah, he's this, he's that. You follow what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. That's wasting your life on non-improvement. Just like a proverbial hamster, these people here are destined to wake up in hell. They will not ascend. Because they don't even listen to the one that they claim to follow, you see? What does I am not the Messiah mean? Never was and never will be. It means I'm not the Messiah, right?
Right.
That's all it is. And then there's no duality, no plurality. You take Draconians, they're going to keep saying Messiah. But now when you go in the Injil, for example, he'll tell you that there's a final Messiah. There were other Messiahs, like David was a Messiah. It just means to be anointed with oil. In fact, crocodile oil out of the Nile, right? But there's a final Messiah, one, a being. You follow what I'm saying? That's the Messiah. Like you have an Injil. If you all go to your Injils, please. Okay, I want to show you all. Go to page 67 of the Injil. Rahubat Keeper. I want to give you all we're going to go to the Hey, Rahubat. We're going to go page 60. I'm glad to hear your tone. We're going to go to page 67 of the Holy Injil. Malachi keeps telling you all that he and I are one. You see, so when you have these silly Negroes and crackers talking about they're the Messiah, or imagining they are, it's just arrogant ego is what it is. It's foolishness. There is a final Messiah, singular, right? But everybody can attain a certain level of consciousness, but they won't have that direct contact link with the Creator. Just like you take Miriam, Aaron, and Moses, brothers and sisters, all of them. And you can't say there's any big or small in the eye of all. And Aaron even was graced to be raised up to the level of prophet by the Most High, right? But who among the three was raised up to be God? Wasn't that Moses? Moses, I'm making you God, and Aaron, your brother, your prophet. And Miriam, she was just blessed to not be cursed anymore, right? You know, she was so arrogant because they didn't have any fear of playing with Moses disrespectfully. You follow me? You follow? But now, that doesn't mean that they're not all one with all and they have the potential to ascend up. It's just that there's only one that he was speaking to directly and dealing with directly like that. You follow what I mean? And empowering directly. Because Moses was shaped and formed to be that, a God to the people. You follow what I'm saying? Is everybody with me? That's not saying he's better than Aaron or Miriam. But the Creator has what you call a grand assembly of those ranging in ranks. Okay. You see, like you take a prophet like all of them, you see that they have this aura light around them. You see that was visible to people that have their third eye open. Even Martin Luther King had that, or has that. And you all have seen me with pictures, most of you have seen me with pictures with light around my head, auras, what have you. But now there's two people in here that saw me recently outside in the dark, lit up with the auras of light all around me. If you all can bear with us real quick.
Yeah, we were sitting out in the yard, the garden one night, one evening, and as dusk came on, Harry got up to go in the house. So
what did y'all see?
That left me sitting out there talking. So I looked and I said, Amun, I said, your whole body lit up. I mean, his hand,
did you see the same thing,
his body, and when Harry came out, he said, Harry, look at me. What do you see? He said, I see a light around all around you.
All right, now we thank you. Bless your soul. Now we go to page 67 of the NGO. I'll start reading Revelation 1:16. Okay, leader of the deities. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Can you all on the phone hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, be cognizant that draconians are playing games. I see them now. There'll be some beings starting to see like as a final warning, like flashes of red and blue light over their eyes behind their forehead. Right. That's a precursor to something savage being placed inside of them to humble them because they just won't. You know, they're rebellious demons. Okay, leader of the deity, supreme deity, will have a tongue of truth to cut up lies. The two-edged sword symbolizes the knowledge of Syriac Arabic, and to translate it into English for you, which will enable him to decipher the scriptures, that he will be able to explain to them, the uneducated people, this knowledge is necessary in order for him to be able to break down and destroy the false doctrines of the various schisms and sects, false messiahs and prophets that will try to lead innocent people astray. It is the Anunnaki Malachi's Duck. Remember I told you, and he told you that he and I are one, who guides my thing. He was saying, let us shine, let us shine, let us shine. With the words written in his letters and the many books I, Dr. Malachi York, have published, I've been cutting up falsehood with truth. There is no question that can be asked, that can't be answered. And his Malachi Melchizedek face will radiate shine like the sun in all its power with the light of glory. Now, I told y'all when I met him in 81 in the flesh, this time in this world, he was lit up like the sun and what have you. And while I was standing in his light, I talked to him on the phone when he was in Florence, and he was saying to me, I was standing at your light while you were looking at mine. You follow what I'm saying? So the thing is, if people think I'm kidding about these things start moving, then they'll never understand it. They're not looking for the truth. They're looking for confirmation of their already preconceived erroneous beliefs. You follow what I'm saying? Or the beliefs of others. But these are the facts. You follow what I'm saying? Now, let me maybe I can take it a little further here. For one thing, your brother Aaron, your brother Moses is back as well, right? need to make sure that people understand that. Okay. Page 441 of the NGO. That's from Revelation 11:3. 441. And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,263 days, clothed in sackcloth. Now the transliteration of that is attached to the explanation. And I, John, son of Zebedee, and Salome, will give to my 2 witnesses, Moses, so that means he's back, Moses, whose real name, see, because this is the book of Revelation to reveal what's happening in the last days. To my 2 witnesses, Moses, whose real name is Tobadonijah, also called Thutmose III, and Achmet, one of the 3 Mims, right, also called Muhammad, both being known as the sons of oil, were given the ability to predict. And I predict unfortunate things for disagreeable and very blessed things for those that are true. To predict. And both said someone was coming after them. That would be the Messiah. This ability, and he was coming through, emerging through the same form as this Achmet. This ability lasted 1,260 days, equal to 42 months or 3.5 years. Upon them will be wool fabric, which is a garment of thick, coarse hair, cloth made from goat's hair. The 2 witnesses, Moses and Muhammad, are introduced, and the power that each one possesses. Now, on the next page in the center, you can see these are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. These 2, the news bearers, Moses and Muhammad, known as the sons of oil, they are 2 olive trees. They are called the sons of oil because they represent the source of light of the truth. And the 2 candlesticks, the first being the congregation of Sardis, which is Judaism, that would be Moses, and the second being Philadelphia, which is Al-Islam, in front of the theos of the planet Earth, is the menorah. And you know what that is, the 7 candlesticks that Jews have, for example. Next page. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. And if anyone wants to hurt these 2, and there's a long line of healthy corpses stretched out. Muhammad al-Islam or Moses Judaism, out of their mouth will come fire to swallow the enemies, being very successful in their respective battles for their homelands, Jerusalem, Mecca. And if anyone wants to hurt these 2, then it will be necessary for him to be killed like this by fire. Next page, 446. These 2 have the authority to close, so we passed this part of prophecy. These 2 have the authority to close the Orion skies, to control the forces of nature, so that it won't rain, causing famines and droughts. Just think about the news and the weather. Causing famines and droughts, long lines for food all over the world, and droughts, cracked earth in the days of their prediction. And they also have authority over water, to make it become blood, as Moses also called Tobadonijah and Thutmose III did in Kemet, Egypt, and to hit the planet Earth with every plague if they want to. That means AIDS or whatever they want to find necessary to hit. Now, you can also look up red rivers and water sources around the globe. It is real, right? Yeah, and I ask you all to check these things out. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. Now here's the real explanation. And when these 2, Muhammad and Moses, have completed their testimonies with the doctrine of real Judaism and al-Islam, that means its pristine purity, has been spread throughout the world, the dawah, the beast will ascend out of the bottomless pit, raising in power against it and its followers, and will seemingly succeed in suppressing its doctrine in order to conquer and kill these 2, Muhammad and Moses, teachings of truth. So you see the little bastards, they work and try to smother the truth, misdirect it, like put the wrong things out or make distract and fuck up, All right. their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom, and where also our Lord was crucified. Their bodies will be discarded in the marketplaces of the great city of New Babylon, America. So you know we're not talking about Muhammad and Moses from antiquity, from in the past. We're talking about them right now in America, which is being called the spiritual Sodom in Egypt, a place in which the master of these two was crucified, meaning that they teach in America that the Messiah Jesus is the creator God. Not true. And that he was crucified on the cross. Neither, that's not true either. Next, Revelation 11:19. And they of the people of kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall suffer their dead bodies, not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And all the tribes and kindreds and tongues and Gentile nation of people all over the world will see the suppression of the truth. I was looking at these two bodies for 3.5 days as the truth lay dormant. Everyone left the bodies without burying them in a tomb. While all of this is going on in the USA, the children of the devil will be in Jerusalem ruling. You know, making like they purchased the Aqsa Mosque and all this, you know, all this foolishness. Reptilian, draconian clowning. And Revelation 11:10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. Not a proper tafsir. And all they that live on the planet earth will be happy over these two. That means you're talking about a majority of fallen angels. This is a penitentiary for wayward angels. These are reprobate, twisted, sick puppies. This is a penitentiary for walking boogers. These people who do not want to follow the laws of the Torah and Al-Quran will feel liberated. They will feel free to entertain themselves with evils and will celebrate the birth and death of the so-called Christ. And some of them will even send gifts to others, because these two prophets, Moses and Muhammad, news bearers, cause much pain upon those that live on the planet Earth because of the strictness of the laws. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And after the 3.5 days before the real Messiah returns, here you go, Katat. And after the 3.5 days before the real Messiah returns, the living soul from Theos will enter. The living soul from Theos will enter these two, Muhammad and Moses, bringing back the teachings. So they will stand up on their 2 feet, and great fear will fall upon those who look at these two, because they thought they had killed the truth. Right? In that same hour, the great earthquake, 10th part of the city. So we're talking about the one in California, of course. Also, you can go to page 636. Are you all there with me? Walt, did you come in yet? Yeah, 636. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. See, otherwise, if you don't follow it, it'll be sounding like, well, I heard Amun saying this and that and the other. You know what I'm saying? It's not my words. Okay, here, this is the Holy One's patience. Those that want to keep a little play in their mind so they can flex back and forward and play with themselves, you know, like put their tail in their mouth and go around in circles. They don't really want to look directly at this. They'll make excuses not to look. Right? This is the Holy One's patience. Those who guard the commands of Theos and have faith in the Messiah Jesus. The coming of the final Messiah. Not no S there. You see what I'm saying? The coming of the final Messiah. Is that singular or plural?
Singular.
I mean,
Singular.
for those... Okay, what do you see, Katat?
Singular.
It is singular, right. And the coming of the final Messiah is a very controversial subject among the world religions. They're confused. Some say the physical Jesus of 2,000 years ago will return himself and the flesh, the same body, and that's not true. That would be reincarnation. Reincarnation is a belief of Hinduism, which is taught by Cleophas. Each denomination has their own interpretation of when the Messiah will come, where he, not they, will appear, and who he will be coming for. The Jewish will recognize that the Messiah, HaMashiach, will come at the end of the world out of Jerusalem. False. The Christian will recognize he will return in the form of their rapture as God. False. The Orthodox Muslims are totally confused about the return of the Messiah because they are too wrapped up in worshiping and exalting Muhammad. False. The Nation of Islam believes W.D. Farad Muhammad is the Allah in the flesh, the Mahdi, and the Messiah. And the Ahmadiyya sect believes Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani to be the Mahdi and the Messiah. Now here's the fact. The Holy Tabernacle Ministries recognizes that he will, he, not they, will return after the Mahdi, that's Ahmed, he ascended out of that, and the Reformer, as Joshua Bar Dawid, which means the Savior, Son of the Beloved, in the year 2007 A.D. So he is indeed back. I can go into more things, but I think that should be enough to give people a better understanding, a clear one, if it is the truth they're looking for, right? And it's not. It wouldn't be intelligent to say that that's what Amun is saying. That's not my words. That's the words of the one that most of them believe in as the ultimate God, the Most High, that that's above everything, and the only being that was sent was the angel Michael that comes through these physical bodies, these different bodies, right? But go ahead. I like your line of questioning, Katat. So, what's that next question, you all? And if I strayed from your answer, please reconfigure your question and ask it again, son. And I'll try to be more direct.
Okay.
All right, who else has a question? Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying
I can barely hear you.
If I come up with another angle, I'll let you know.
All righty. Okay, very good. Very good. Always got to keep searching for them angles. You follow me? All right. Who else has a question?
I have one.
I'll do my very best, Goddess.
Okay, now as far as you talking about
numbers. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, now as far as you said we have more than one soul, what about spirit and ether?
Well, no, the oversoul is like that. You have one spiritual aspect, I know that, but you have several shadowy. In other words, if you have 7 stages of your body, from the densest to higher and higher, like the Schumann resonance, you vibrate faster to create less dense forms that you call spirits, all the same thing, vibrating at different frequencies. But it's like you ascending up through the 7 planes, right, with the 7 shadowy stages of the same body. But you have to understand that even every plane is subdivided by 7 to the 7th power of 7 within that one, like you say, the spiritual plane. There are some spirits that vibrate very low, Jeffrey Dahmer, you follow me? And you have other spirits that vibrate very fast, and it's very etheric-like and not dense at all. Are you following? But they're all in the spiritual plane. Okay. Did that confuse you more?
No, but okay. So is that including ether as well?
Or even the etheric aspect of you? Yeah. Because see, when you have the periodic chart I was telling you about with the 99 elements on the left-hand side, from hydrogen 1 up to the more dense elements, then on the right-hand side, you have nothing, which is something without its atomic number. Then you would start off with ether 1, ether 2, ether 3, you follow what I mean? So there are various stages of ether as well, too. Let me be clear about that.
Okay, so now, what? Oh, go ahead.
So that an Etherean could be a very elevated Etherean or not, right? They wouldn't all vibrate on the same frequency. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Neither would the soul be the same, is what I was trying to explain to Katat. It depends on what vibratory frequency you resonate with to connect to that level of soul consciousness. Because the faster your soul vibrates personally, then you would be connected to a higher aspect of soul on up till you ascend back into the Creator, the oversoul of the Most High. You follow?
Yes, okay, so now one last question. So even though you have all these parts of you here, is that the same in the spirit world, or is everything combined as one? Like
it is combined ultimately as everything is one. But we create these different levels of consciousness being projected up. Okay, you're a spiritual being, have a physical experience. And it depends on the level of your conscious thought, what frequency is vibrating at, what your manifestation is. You know what I mean? If you have very slow spiritual, coagulated, congealed spirit with low vibratory thoughts, then you would manifest as a physical body, at the lowest aspect, right? But highly ascended beings, they won't drop down into the physical realm. That would make them vulnerable to sickness and disease and aging and death and these type of things. Are you following me? With a gross physical body. See, when you look at the Schumann resonance, you should all look that up. And if you vibrate under 7.8, then you become dense enough to be vulnerable, susceptible to mortal pain and what have you. When you start oscillating over that frequency, over 7.8, then you start going into that, there'll be a new heaven, a new earth, no more hunger, no more thirst, no more pain, no more dying, for the former things will have passed away, right? Because you're vibrating on a frequency that you're no longer considered gross physical matter. Even though the physical matter is, like I said, it's also consciousness. It's not really physical, but it's just a lower frequency of vibration of consciousness. So what you're calling the devil is a fallen angel. It's still a spiritual creature, just like the spiritual beings that maintain the ether vapors on the fourth plane, right? Malakut. But that spirit is a fallen spirit, and it's vibrating real slow and sluggish, so it appears to take on a solid, actual, and time-bound form. Are you following me? They're very slow. You follow me? And they're therefore fallen down into the mud. You see? Like gross physical, carnal matter. But as they vibrate faster and faster, so like when the earth is vibrating, Schumann resonance is more than doubled. The earth is vibrating over twice as fast as it was previously. But it still appears to be just as solid to you as it did before, right? Is everybody with me?
Yes.
So you understand, when you raise up in vibration and transform to a higher plane like fifth or sixth, that doesn't mean, what it means is that everything and everyone around you would be vibrating on the same frequency, so that it would come back into view to you, just like you could touch each other and eat food if you wanted to even, you know what I mean? But you would still be vibrating too fast to be subjected to death and aging and all that, right? Or COVID-19 or anything like that. Okay, let me try to. All right. Let's start talking more about 5D shifting. You will be going to the new earth. What does that even mean? How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? How do we know if we're going to the new earth? And are those not going to die? Yes, they will. What happens to them? I'm going to explain things from a scientific viewpoint. From what we know, it's just really scratching the surface to tell you not only how you can go to a new earth, but that you can start today to shift into it and start to experience some amazing things that are happening right now, like you all making stars come closer to yourself and then expand back out, go back up, right? Right now, everyone has access to this. Are you ready? Let's get started. And that Messiah will be the one that induce you to things like that, right? Or healing, what have you. I'm going to help you break through that barrier and live an amazing, awesome life. Are you ready to do this? All right, if so, you've seen. Okay, we're going to talk about the science. The Schumann resonance is the documented frequency of the planet. This is science. The frequency of the planet is almost double what it has been in the past. It has reached a historic all-time high frequency. What is a higher frequency? Within a high frequency, within a high frequency, like dropping down, you have anxiety, depression, illness. They all disappear because there's no imbalance in a higher frequency. A lower frequency is density. Scientists have proven that those humans below a 7.8 hertz frequency, below 7.8 hertz frequency, which is where we want to be, or above, below that have symptoms of depression, anxiety, fear, and illness. This is all real stuff. Frequency counts. Now we know when you have a low frequency, you become ill. Your DNA literally, it deteriorates. In scientific studies that have proven this, your DNA literally gives up, all right? When you are going too high frequency, which is joy, love, peace, all of these beautiful feelings, your actual frequency rises. You have an electromagnetic field. Everything does, like the earth itself. Actually, you have a field of radiation. It goes up. It opens up just like your DNA does. DNA explosions. And the beauty is you affect other people's DNA. This is what's happening on this planet. The frequency is going up, not just on its own. So that's what a spiritual guide would do, would affect other people, star movers. We're doing it. She's evolving too, right? She's alive, beautiful entity. Talking about Earth, energy, and as is everything heard and beyond. We are contributing to the higher frequency. We are contributing to the higher frequency. The planet that means we're raising our frequency. That means we're awakening. It's really happening. We're doing it. The site and other planets within the solar system have also shifted into a different frequency, and it's definitely directly affecting us. So but it's not affecting everybody, right? In the same way, right? It's at a different rate for everybody. Now, the devil is vibrating slow, but they have this incredible ego that makes them imagine that they're supreme beings, right? Which is why they fell in the beginning, because of this incredible ego. If you have some of these symptoms, and maybe you don't concern yourself. There's no right or wrong way to this. Many people are experiencing some bizarre feelings physically, because it is real. The frequency of the planet, the solar system, the sun are all affecting us physically. DNA is changing. That's a fact. It is absolutely changing. You know, all that space of DNA you call junk DNA that we didn't use, it's there for a reason. It's going to kick in at some point, and it's happening just like most people are only using 5% of their brain or less. You have all that other 90-some-odd% of brain there because that capacity will be ignited that we don't use. It's there for a reason. It's going to kick in at some point, and it's happening. Same thing goes with our brain. Why do we have all of this and we only use a fraction of it? Because it's there for when we're ready to use it. And this is equipment that you can start using that is pretty darn amazing. How do you access all of this? And what is the new earth? Okay, so, that would be how you expand your consciousness. You have a spiritual guide to get you to come up out of using your two eyes as the primary, as the I'm, and you're talking to myself, and the myself being you, the physical form. A smart demon, right? And they read and they learn all these physical things with their brain and their physical eye. But when you start using the mind's eye and these higher aspects of yourself and identifying with that as I am, he is, so therefore I am. The I, as you start looking at yourself as the consciousness that's projecting the matrix of myself, or the I saw us last night in the dream, as opposed to the us and we in the dream that you see. In other words, not just a character in the story, but the author of the story that's creating or projecting the illusion of what you see in the mirror, right? Come on up here. You follow? Because then, like I said, your body is shifting in and out of consciousness 1,044 times roughly per second, meaning that you're only creating the illusion of physicality half the time, and that's still not really physical, but you know what I mean. And the other half of the time, you're just pure consciousness again, which means you're one with the Creator, and you have the capacity or ability to direct your consciousness, to direct your spirit, to shape atoms and molecules, etc., to form your body and your environment exactly the way you want it, right? But you have to be in tune with your star player, with your higher senses, or you can't move stars. Are you following what I'm saying? Is everybody with me? That's why human beings can't do these things. That's why I don't call you all Homo sapiens, but not yet cosmos. I call you Homo galactica, because you're somewhere in between. Is that making sense to all you almonds? Right. All right. Your DNA is changing. That's a fact. Okay. Same thing goes with our brain. Why do you have all of that? Okay, pretty. And what is the new earth? Okay. So what's the new earth? So we know that multiple dimensions exist. I'll give you an example. When a third dimension planet, that means that when we see things, then that's what we think we are. Right? Because your consciousness is forming a body and an environment that you think you are on the level that you think, right? That's why it's down carnal, and you have so much work to do to ascend up. And then when you start vibrating on above 7.8 on the Schumann resonance scale, then you become immortal. That's not to say that you're not immortal all the time, but you won't realize it until you're vibrating on a higher frequency. Are you following what I'm saying? Because at that density level, somebody could take a hammer and break the ice. You follow what I'm saying? But when you boil it and it ascends up into a steam or spirit and eventually the ether that you don't see, water, steam, or ice, then it can't touch this, can't even see it. You know what I mean? but it's still the same thing, just vibrating at a different frequency. Then, okay, that means that when we see things, then that's what we think we are. When you go to the fourth and fifth and beyond, you're not tapping into the unseen of which really flows through the supposed material world. Nothing's really solid, but it appears to be. It's the lowest dense frequency that allows it to be or appear to be material. This is why we leave our body. You're no longer a physical body because your frequency raises when you go or when you transition out of it. You leave that density. You know, like Anukas, when you looking at that lump of mud on the bed. Well, then that was self-realization. You realized, or should have, with that separation, that you were not that body, you were not that environment, you're not that situation. You were only watched it happen from above. Meaning that even though you could see the walls and doors of the shadowy backdrop, you could actually just move through the walls and doors like they weren't there. Which means, in turn, that you couldn't be affected by disease, hunger, or a bullet. You were immortal. But that body is vulnerable to time and age and subjected to disease and pain. Because there was no repose. It had no animation, no person, no nothing. And it had no life. It's just a mud. Well, people can drop so low that they can identify with that as me, what I see in the mirror. Okay, but some people really think that's them. I'm trying to get them to understand that you are an enigma. That is not what you are. That thing is not you. Right. You were the I that saw us last night in a dream. You saw yourself on that bed. The I was looking at that. Come on up here. All right. Okay. Well, you were up there then, Straw Mover, when you were moving them. You know what I'm talking about? It's a low, dense frequency that allows it to be material or appear thus. This is why when you leave your body, you're no longer a physical body because your frequency raises when you transition out of it. You leave that density, but you still take that energy field with you, so you don't get out of anything, right? You know what I mean? Just that you're a higher frequency than you were then, as thinking that you were that body. Yeah, right. I'm not that body. I am not that situation. I'm only watching that happen from above that lump, you see. Right. You know, but you really weren't part of that physical, or that gravity when you was going up the hall, elevate when your foot was on the tub, because you were rising up like steam. You were more spiritual. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand more and more. But you know, you don't want to be having people that think they're spiritual guides guiding you, and you know, with a lot of big words and you know, majoring and minors, you know, misguiding people, and they really are lost, you know. But they got these incredibly large egos, but they don't really understand what's going on, right? Yeah. Okay. That's what Messiah means. The Messiah means. You're going to take it with you, even though you leave the density of the body. But everybody can aspire to transform into, you know, to aspire to be a Messiah, to be on that level, to always keep moving towards that, right? You follow? But it's not easy to just become the Messiah. And it's in the same way that it's hard for you to catch up with your older brother or sister. Because the older you get, time is not standing still for them. They're growing. That's right. The Messiah is growing just like you, just faster. Because the higher your consciousness is, the faster it grows. You roll two snowballs down the hill, a big boulder and then a regular snowball. They both start acquiring more and more snow, so they're getting bigger as they accumulate more snow. But when they finally hit the bottom, the boulder has accumulated a lot more snow than the snowball. Even though snowball might be a boulder by now, the thing is the boulder It's something really gigantor because it was bigger to begin with. You see what I mean? So it's accumulating, it's growing faster. And you can't never catch up with your older brother or sister in age. No, you can't because they growing too, you see. But when you talk about it in the conscious sense, you know, then the Messiah would be growing faster than you. So it's, you know what I'm saying? And so whatever they introducing you into, they're already past moving stars, and now they're making them come to you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. The density of the body. So here's how the new earth works. You don't have to believe me, but look at the science to guide you. We live in a multidimensional existence, endless. They keep saying, oh, there's 9. Oh, no, there's 12. No, there's 21. Okay, so that would be only limited by your ability to imagine. Are you following what I'm saying? I taught you all years and years ago that your intercessor, that connects you to the Most High, is imagination, right? Because like the girl that's in school that deals in particle physics, that knows that there's a smaller particle than the tiniest particle ever recorded in scientific papers, after 13 years of research and study, knowing it's there, she finally finds it, comes out with a paper and proves that there's a smaller particle, not realizing that her belief in that is what created the smaller particle. So what I'm saying is that creation or consciousness or existence or whatever you want to call it is only limited by your ability to imagine. You follow what I'm saying? There are no limits, like on the size of existence or how high you can go or how tiny you can be or how big you can be, how smart you can be. There is no such thing as that. It's unlimited. It's infinite. All right? Okay. They keep saying, oh, there's no, okay, unlimited dimensions, which everybody has the capability to shift into. Now, here's what's going on. When you raise your frequency, you tap into another dimension. Why? Because the frequency of that dimension is different. That's what makes it appear to be another, right? But it's really the same room. Just like you were in the same room when you were a blue light being and a physical being on the bed, which is where illness happens, right? It's a lower frequency. So now we know higher frequency literally have been proven. Love, all these things can change the frequency of the planet, like love and, but these other ghastly beings with this undercover backstabbing, slimy shit, no matter how many books they read and how many internet researches they do and all, they're getting more and more dense and ignorant and evil and low, you see, slimy. They documented these meditation, the Schumann experiment. They carved this many years ago and have done it several times to prove that they can change not only just the frequency, because they're getting their research from people that's vibrating on a low frequency already. You follow what I'm saying? Don't breathe in the phone. We don't care if you're upset or something. You don't like it, then you go away. You know what I'm talking about? That's all. Don't be a low frequency thing. If you don't like these answers, then you go to your answers. Okay, we'll see you in your heaven. Go to heaven, demon. Go to your make pretend heaven and your fake highness and all that. Okay, I've done it several times to prove that they can change not only just the frequency, but the crime rate went down, illness went down, accidents went down. This is documented science, all right? So we know our feelings and thoughts and beliefs are changing our frequency out there, changing other people's DNA. But here's what we all, now you see, you can hear this breathing on the phone. That's a slimy demon. That's a draconian. But it's a person like us. You follow what I'm saying? It's not. This is a low vibratory slug, a sluggard, a low-life creature, a snake, what do you call it, a dog or something lower than that. A beast is what it is, a carnal beast, just a piece of poo-poo. It thinks because it's got on clothes and shoes, it's the same thing as you see. We have free will. You don't have to believe me. Why don't you all ask this creature to stop making noise? See if it can be civilized and not do that.
Wake up, whoever you are. You sound like
Please stop making that noise.
Please mute your phone.
They know how to star fix it. Okay. Nothing I say, you can just turn the channel off right now if you want. Here's the deal. You don't have to believe anything I say. You can just turn the channel off right now if you want. Now, you have free will, but when you go to a higher frequency, you now tap into things that seem a little cray-cray, like moving stars, for example. Higher intuition. You might see things, you might experience some things with your third eye. Somebody said, should we open the third eye? Why would you be afraid of your powers? Of course you can actually put blinders on, you will experience where you can blindfold yourself, see nothing, and still weave things in and out and see stuff. And that's what we are like on the other side. When you get out of the density of this body and you go to that higher frequency, that's where you use that blue light, or Ankh when she goes through the wall, you're accessing what you are when you're not in the body. That's all. You never lost touch with it. Now we know other dimensions exist, unlimited dimensions. So I'll give you an example with the ghost. People who lower frequencies, like they're attached to certain things. Or if that happens, my children, my money, my cars, I know that it can get you. It got me not too long ago. If that happens and there's a low frequency energy might dwell in that dimension, even though they're out of their body. So in other words, even if you leave your body, you might dwell in that dimension because you still have the mind of that lower frequency. So you get to a door or a wall, and what will you do? You'll stop because you think it's still a barrier like when you had your physical body, right? So you won't be able to ascend because you don't believe you can go through the ceiling. Or you don't believe, you know what I mean? You think that you still think you that. You're going to be acting like you in the body when you're not. Like you're still this mud. But if you have a low thinking like that, you still ain't going nowhere. You just be out your body and still be in the same place. That's what hell is. A disembodied soul, a person that keeps thinking about they love their woman, their man, their money, their job, their car, their children, they this and that, the way they look. So when they make the separation of what you call die and separate, they're out of their body, and their body is rotting in the grave. But they still are walking the earth as a disembodied soul because they're still thinking like they're still that. And so they won't ascend up to a higher plane. But they can't participate in this one because of the lack of a physical body. You need a physical body to participate in the physical realm. But that lower dense part of them is on the bed and died and it's in the ground. And so they just there, spiritual blue light with a mud mind. And then they try to talk to people and try to, nothing. Nobody see them, you know what I mean? All this, they get mad. You understand? So they think they're in hell, and they are, because of their lower vibratory thoughts. Yes. These are very real things. You see that? I'm here to remove the spookism, that's all. Yeah. I love you. You never lost thoughts that now we know other dimensions exist, unlimited dimensions. So I'll give you an example with the ghost. People who with low frequencies, like they're attached to certain things, or if that happens and there's a low frequency energy, might dwell in that dimension, even though they're out of their body. So if we might get out to see them on occasion, we might get to see a ghost. That ghost, whether it's a residual energy or after a person's energy, a spirit, is just in a lower frequency, probably trapped, right? So, in other words, if you can have a third eye, because you can be in a carnal body, and some people that are spiritually intuitive, they can see a wisp or a ghost. And that's that person in a blue light body hovering in the room. They're in the room, but, you know, nobody else can see it but a spiritual person that's on the higher end of the physical plane. They can kind of see them fuzzy-like. They can see the steam, you understand? And that person is there, but they still can't really touch them or nothing like that, you know. That's right. That's right. He's another plane, and he's going to take the form that you think he's taking. Because you know why you know that? Because when you saw your husband that passed away leaning against the fence, he had on clothes, didn't he? That's right. But a ghost ain't got no clothes. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know that you creating him in the form. That's you creating that. You follow me? All right, but you see how I was trying to explain to you about the difference between clothes and not, and I go, see, that's different things that I'm peppering you all with all through classes, so that it's busting, making DNA explode in you. That's how you raising up, because I'm putting things in you, giving you keys all the time. That's what distinguishes a regular teacher from a messiah or something. You know what I mean? They understand things to unlock your latent potential. You follow me? Make you understand things that you couldn't before. All right. Okay. And they're not a lower frequency, but they're not stuck. So ghosts sometimes are just stuck because they're of their lower frequency, and they don't realize that they're not physical beings anymore until they release their energy, which they can. All of them can, and we can help them. So in other words, when you were in that blue light against your body, you knew that you wasn't the body because you were looking at it, but you were still thinking like that. That's what held you in the room. But you don't. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't need to open the door. Just go. There's no door. You follow what I'm saying? The door was still in your mind, though. Right? No, but there's a door for that body because it's vibrating on that low frequency. Right, but just like you had to go through the body to get out the body. You didn't squeeze out your eyeball or your mouth. You just raised up out the body. So you could raise up out the walls too. Your body is like a room, and you came out of there. You can't be contained by rooms unless you think you are. So people that's holding on to their money and all these draconians want to acquire wealth and all this stuff, Trump, they're gonna be in hell. They setting themselves up for a terrible blazing hell, right? So, okay, they don't realize that they're not physical beings anymore until they release their energy, which they can. All of them can, and we can help them. We can help them to go to a higher frequency, and then they go off to some place else. They go into another dimension, which is higher, which we're probably not participating in. You participate in dimensions. You participate in frequencies. That's why when you all are with me and you're moving stars, that's higher frequency stuff. That's another dimension you are right there. So I'm trying to get you all to wake up and exercise those muscles that you get used to being vibrating on that frequency, right? Because you're not a mortal being when you're doing these things. And that's why it pains me when there's time to move stars and people get, I don't do it, because they're too heavy already. They know, like, you ain't gonna make, your arrogant, ignorant ass ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm talking about? First off, a black ass nigga don't want to follow no black man. That has been conditioned inside of them. You see what I'm talking about? That's why more sisters are going to ascend faster than men. Believe me. And I hate to say that because I'm a man, but it's just a fact. It's the male ego, right? You see, but the Creator can send somebody looking like a light bulb if you want to, right? Or short, without no teeth and big feet, or whatever you want to, Yeah. It ain't about the way nobody look or whether they black or whatever. It's what's in the being. Okay, you can go to the higher frequencies, and then you can go someplace else. They go into another dimension, which is higher, which we're probably not participating in. You participate in dimensions. Like I sent you the DVD on interdimensional beings. Now you see this being was in this world, running across the street, running through the boy and girls, and then it came back and was spinning, clockwise to try to go back to its own dimension. But it kept spinning, trying, until it, pop, disappeared. I've done that before on higher planes, and I was trying to drop back down to this one because I had a job to finish, which is what I'm doing right now, working with y'all. You see what I mean? I'm trying to get y'all, start moving to bring y'all up to a higher plane before time get beyond repair. Because your bodies won't be able to survive temperatures like 125, 130 degrees or drought or FEMA and all these different things. All these plagues, and you're not going to be able to, your physical body is not going to survive it. Aging, you understand what I mean? It's only so how old can you get before you... At some point, your body is just not going to make it. And you can drink all the juice and get facelifts and exercise all you want. No. So if you don't learn to come up and raise up before then death's going to be real for your ass. Because you're going to die and go right down in that grave with that body. Because you think that's what you are. You're going to not just be trapped in that room, you're going to be trapped in that coffin or that fire or whatever. Okay. They're not physical beings anymore until they really, participate in dimensions. Why shifting to a new frequency? It's so important. What is my frequency? What am I manifesting? What am I manifesting? That's what you're manifesting. So if you and I, this is science, quantum physics, both look at the identical thing, we could have completely different results in different realities based on what we think and believe about it. Because my wave turning into a particle, so that's why when I sent you all the slit test experiment, when they fired the electrons through the slits, and it depends on the observer. What you think you're seeing, that's how it unfolds, right? So if you think of yourself as a physically gross being, then atoms appear to be curled up and solid to you, But the higher you raise your frequency, then they unfurl, like a butterfly wings, and it becomes spiritual, right? We have completely different results and different realities based on what we think and believe about it. Because my wave turning into a particle could be different than yours. Therefore, you will live in a different reality. Even though I'm aware of you, you won't participate in mine. So you can know people and they could be in the same house with you, in the same car, but you can move stars looking out the window, but they can't. because you vibrating on a different frequency, even on the physical plane. You're at the higher end of the spectrum. So there will be people, imagine this, there's a big mansion, and we're just in different rooms. So when you go have frequencies, you go into a different room, like this room we in here on this conference call. And then maybe you go into a higher room and a higher room. And when you're in that room, you're totally unaware of the other people, right, in the other rooms, right? The people in the other rooms, even though you're all in the same house. In other words, you in the world but not of it. So this is what I'm trying to say. When people mentally read that old Malachi doctrine stuff right there, they're forcing themselves down into a lower frequency, a religious frequency, a belief system, where they're worshiping him as some kind of God out there, you know, and he's the one and all that, and ain't nothing without him and all, you know, just that all this is. And they believe all that stuff, and he done told them, this stuff has got to go. Listen, nigger, I'm not the Messiah. Can you imagine Malachi saying that about a dude? You got little nigglets running around and little pecks talking about they the Messiah? The arrogance of these little things. The arrogance of them. And nobody knows what's inside the sun. They don't know. I'm not thinking, I don't show people everything I can do or everything I know, okay? Okay, you might hear once in a while, but you don't really participate in them. Does this make sense? Just like you hear that high-pitched frequency. That's not part of this realm here. You know, if you hear some family member call your name and they're not in the house, that's hearing on a different plane. That's what dimensions are. That's what the new earth is. So when you go to a higher frequency, you're participating in balanced compassion, love, no more guilt, no more blaming, no more reasons to be blamed, no more separation. So you cannot participate in that new earth unless you're on the frequency of that love. You can't go into that room unless you participate in that love. So you see, devils can't go to heaven. People can't hear you. Can't have a dead space.
I was saying that happened to me a few nights ago. I was preparing to go upstairs. I was sitting at the bottom of the stairs, and I heard Harry say, Anubis. So Harry was going to turn to his room. So I said, did you call me? He said, no. I said, wow, it sounds plain as day in his voice, Anubis. I thought you knew.
I used to call Harry, and a lot of people, when he'd be on a truck thousands of miles away, he could hear me. People hear me, but some people deny it, and they say, no, that's not it. I'm not seeing no red and blue light flashing behind my... Mm-hmm. But you see it.
True, too, because
and that is me.
While I was still in Lancaster,
warning you.
I often hear Messiah call me. Zacchaeus, he would say. And then after he changed my galactic name, and then I would hear him, so I would call him and tell him, I say, I can hear you calling me. Seemed like it was just, my head was that tall, and he was up there calling my name. And he would say, yeah, I did call you.
I did.
I'm like, wow.
But if I make mind links with people in Ghana, Africa, you know, so it's the same. It's not different. You follow what I'm saying? But now, a devil can't be that because they think of themselves as individuals. You follow what I'm saying? So you can't be one with all. You follow what I'm saying? The devil is me, mine. I got to get mine, me, mine. You see what I'm saying? The crab cannot be a Messiah, period. It can't even be human. It's lower than that. It's a beast. You know, a subhuman trying to function in an intellectual arena with AI and all this foolishness. You know, worshiping extraterrestrials because the artificial intelligence and the machines they have and all, you know, this type of foolishness stuff here. They're trying to build a brick tower to a spiritual heaven. So when you go to a high frequency, you're participating in a balanced compassion, love, divine love. Okay, you can't go into that room unless you participate in that divine love. You'll be kicked out. And they have been kicked out of the heavens. No more space found. So go back down to the floor where everybody's looking at all this crap, these wars and monkeypox and all, and need to be informed. That's what I'm here to do, so that I can focus on it and create it. When you focus on it, you create it. Do you want to go on to the new earth? Then they better come and listen to me, and stop going back. See, but the arrogance is, I know what I'm doing, and reptile, I don't need no nigga telling me I'm smart enough to find my own. Well, some of these things, it's not nothing you can outline and define. It's not nothing you can define. Like if somebody asks you, white people say, here's a pen and a paper now, give me a schematic that write down step by step to teach us how to move stars right now. It's like, asshole, there ain't nothing I can't get no grip on that. Well, the Messiah taught you. Well, it was more than taught. I connected with him and raised the energy up. It wasn't just saying, like 3 to the left, 4 to the right, pop, and the safe opened up. It was an interaction, an interplay between me and them, where I became one with their mind, and when that happened, by osmosis, their mind raised up to that frequency. Yeah, strong. That's right. You gotta make sure people hear you when you say.
And that was so strong for me when at my first experience. I didn't know that I was crying while I was doing it because it was just so phenomenal. I never done it before. I never
heard nobody else doing it.
I never heard it before. It was just a.
But now let me tell you, the true draconians, they gonna act like that ain't no big thing, and plus they was doing it all the time or could have done it all the time. You understand? That's the one with the cosmic stick up their ass. Yeah, I know they lying, but I'm just saying that's what they. Oh, I've been doing that years ago, and I be like, I know that ain't like, sit your fucking lying ass down. Okay. All right, now we're gonna have to get some tracking numbers. Let me know. Okay. All right, I will. The imbalance of the hope human species has created. This crisis we're going through because we've been rejecting the whole structure that's in place. And this has allowed us to step away from it and create something new if we choose. Now you could go through, and you may believe this, we're going to hell in a handbasket. Here we go, blah, 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 blah. You can go into that space, all right? You can do that if you want, and that's exactly where you'll stay. And you'll resonate with other people who will cheer you on. That's Noah's flood. Bigger the crowd, deeper the water. Separation, no compassion, no unconditional love. You see, you got to be cold-hearted like a reptile or snake. The dragon's lair. You got to be a cold-blooded snake like that, right? And so you can have company on the way to hell. And yeah, that's right. And other people, the secret society, is secret about being a piece of shit. And other people will say, wow, this is an opportunity for a new earth. Yes, this is amazing. What can we do? We never have to go back to destroying our planet or each other. Everything you do now is going to be determined according to your frequency, what dimension you will operate in, and what will happen in your world, and what probability you're choosing. This is science. In fact, there's so much out there that you probably don't even know. I was talking to one of my friends who is really up on this stuff, and she said, I never heard of these things. I said, these are real experiments. I can send you a link. So you should Google this. Go on. I'm not making this stuff up. Go on. So now they can do that if they Google our classes, you see. But they're not going to get it in Malachi's books. Now that's all it is. Or from no niggas and no African queen and all that bullshit. You're not going to get this from no mortal niggas. They just, that's all it is. It's stupid. Why would you keep majoring in minors? Keep looking down for higher up answers. Okay, and Google dimensions, vibrations, frequencies. Once you get someplace where you're performing miracles, and you don't even looking down for no answers, it's just ignorant. Tulsa said, everything is a vibration. Everything is a frequency. There is nothing else. There's no material world. So, so they try to get some money and acquire the acquisitions of this and that. It's all a frequency. It's all fabrication of our focus within the conscious field and creating. That's the slit test, the observer. This as a collective. Nothing punishes you. Nobody makes you feel bad. Nobody makes you do or feel anything. You have participated in everything. When you find a value, you go to a higher frequency because now the things happening to you that you don't like, you see it differently. So you just shift it to a higher frequency with people that said, hey, you know what? I'm going to forgive my parents. I'm going to forgive my parents or so-and-so because what great teachers were they? Wow. Even if they taught you, a devil can be a good teacher in many ways because they're a perfect example of what the hell not to be. Study them and then reverse everything about them, right? And then that's a lesson. Why would I ever feel anything negative towards another person? Why would I ever say anything bad about another person? Why would I ever have to argue a point? We can share what we can share, our thoughts and feelings. But when you're in an argument, you go into lower frequency of battle. Anything that battles is a lower frequency. I was just talking to a clown student of mine, George, Six Finger George. He I want to love the boy. He's almost 50 years old now, but I'm just saying, I raised him, but he's a loud, ignorant, egotistical, reptilian nigga. That's all it is. He's just a black, loud, ignorant devil. But he wants to know everything, and he wants us to be brothers and on equal thing and whatever, The devil wants to bring you down to their level before they start imagining themselves superior to it, right? I have to be right. You're wrong. That's the devil. You're going to hell. Okay, no, you're going to live in that world. I'm not. I'm choosing a different world, and my world has shifted unbelievably. All of these symptoms that you had with the electromagnetic field, you've been feeling all that shifting into eating lighter foods, getting back off them dead animals, right? Not when you eat meat. Not when you eat meat. Now that's that draconian thing right there, that beast, that animal. Or either when you don't want to eat anymore. That is your DNA changing. It's a physical thing. It's really happening. And when you feel like you don't want to eat no more, then you're starting to shift to a higher frequency. Our powers are kicking in because when you go to a higher frequency, all of this magic kicks in. And it's real, Star Movers. All right? So I'm going to do, let's see, if you are in my class shifting to miracles, talk about what's the difference between manifesting, which you're doing all day long. Only difference is being aware of the fact that you create and manifesting these things. And they're getting in control. 10 what? It's 10:25, you all. So we need to have everybody that's trying to make it go outside, move some stars, and know that I love you all and you'll never be alone. Let me see who can get there and start doing something first. Who's going to be the first person to move something tonight? Walter, are you here yet from California? Amanda.
I'm here.
Well, I'm glad to hear your voice. What do you see outside, Amanda?
Okay.
Are you growing, Amanda? Are you waking? Are you waking up, Amanda?
I'm studying. I think I am.
You need to. I hope you are, because that's why it's a Q&A. I want y'all to ask questions. Don't let me just keep going. Well, listen, if you don't understand, it's okay to stop me and ask me. Yeah. What does that last thing you say mean? After you let me finish saying it, right?
Correct. I know sometimes you can't hear me. I have really some burning questions, but
yeah, but I hear you now clear. So, all right, who's gonna move something outside?
I'll move something.
Thank you, Goddess. Let me turn off this light so I can link with you better. Okay. You looking at a star?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
All right. Yes.
All right.
In the name of Amun-Re, move clockwise. Moving clockwise.
Uh-huh.
In the name of Amun-Re, move closer.
Okay.
Come closer. What's coming?
Coming closer.
Yeah.
In the name of Amun-Re, raise up. One up.
I love and respect everybody that's telling the truth and participating. Now, the ones that's too egotistical to do that's them type of beings, right? That's full of that hot wind there. Okay.
In the name of Amun-Re, drop down. Dropping down. In the name of Amun-Re, stop. Thank you.
I love you. Next. Hotep, what you gonna do?
Cloudy in London.
All right, Cheryl. Cloudy in London. I got you. Hotep. All right. Ankh in Texas. What are you going to do for us, Goddess?
I see a star. I'm going to move.
All right. I'm with you. I see it.
In the name of Amun-Re, run up.
Remind me, I want to tell you something, Patah. Everybody going to want to hear it, though.
It's going up.
Okay.
Now stop. In the name of Amun-Re, run to the right. It's taking off, going to the right before I could even finish.
Going right.
All right.
Now stop.
Come in.
Name of Amun-Re, and go in a clockwise circle.
Cloudy out there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there it is. It's going in a
clockwise.
Right.
I love y'all. Now, let me say something. Thank you. Bless you. I want to say something. Patah, when you were seeing the star, that she was moving closer to her. Keith was making it come closer to her, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, what's happening is, please get your phone. Why are you doing that? All right. Now, the reason why, Patah, is because, and I'm going to tell y'all something, a new perspective, you have to another level, is because how many minds are there, Patah?
One.
Exactly. So we all share one mind, right? So when I do that for her, I'm doing it for you too, you see? Exactly. Man, Carre, you hear me? Huh? The sister said something about what, brother?
You were trying to talk. I asked him to mute his phone.
Oh, I love you. Yeah, please mute your phone. Unless you have a question or a statement you'd like to make. But you got to understand that what it is that I'm one with all, when I'm doing my job. Does everybody feel me? And so that when we do things together and make a mind, then we're all one with all, and it's one mind and it's one being, and we're all Amun. Are you following me? So we do these things in the name of Amun, right? Faithful and true, right? Now you might catch an egotistical being. They don't want the name. They don't want to identify with that because they don't understand the whole thing. They just run with what they believe right quick. You see? He trying to make me be one of his little things or whatever like this. No. I want you to be one with all. We're all Amun. Amen? I mean, calm down. So one day you can be as big as you imagine yourself. Right? Okay. Now look, let me try to get some tracking numbers here for you all. I think it's that time right now. Don't you agree? And Cheryl, I'm a little surprised that you haven't gotten a spiritual package in years. What's happening with you?
Money. That's what's happening.
But Goddess, you know, you're creative. Just do it a little bit at a time. Call me up. We'll work it out. You hear me?
Yeah, trying.
All right. Okay. We're looking for St. Petersburg, Florida. Kim. Wow, he said for sure he would be here. Hollywood, Florida. Okay. Isn't that you, Katat?
Yes.
You have something to write with, son?
I'm getting it.
All right. Okay, now while he's getting it, I love you. Irving, Texas.
Yes, Tua.
You have something to write with?
Yes.
Don't do that. Okay. 954901072901222414. Again, 9549-0107-2901-2228-4140-75. Now, St. Petersburg, Florida. St. Pete. Okay. Meridian, Mississippi. Mencari.
Yes, I already have my package.
You joking?
You came today.
Man, that is... Okay, that's super fast right there. You know, that's a big change. I'm talking about it was just mailed. Okay, Chesapeake, Virginia. Amanda.
Yes.
You have something to write with? Okay. Katat, you ready right now, right? Yes.
I'm ready. Hold on, let me get a pen.
All right. You already got it?
Hold on, I thought I had a pen. Hold on.
Okay, just 1 minute. Katat, are you ready now? You got a pen now, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's Hollywood, Florida, Katat?
Yes.
All right. 9549-0107-2228-4140-68. Again, 9549-0107-2901-2228-4140-68. You got it?
Yep.
All right. Now, Irving, Texas. Onk, you ready now?
Yes, you gave me mine. I think Amanda was getting a pen.
Okay, Amanda. All right, now just a minute. Okay, Chesapeake, Virginia. 90.
I'm ready.
9540. Amanda. 9549. Babies, please. 9549. 0107. 2901. 2228. 4141. 05. Again, 9549. 0107. 2901. 2228. 4141. 05. Now, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Kiefer and
I got mine today.
You got yours already? Well, they were on the wings of an angel, huh? They got okay. Mobile out.
Thank you. That book, you know what? It's great to have a shared mind because I really needed everything in the content of the book.
Well, you know I love you. You know that. I love you.
What book is that?
Okay, Mobile, Alabama. Who was that?
It was Patarat.
No, I said Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, she was asking me what book that was.
Oh, I'll follow you. Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry. Like I say, I send them out, for filler. Okay, Mobile, Alabama. What you was learning tonight, that's where it's at there, you see. Mobile, Alabama. Okay, so we got most of the people here with these packages are not here. All right. That ain't going to stop them from getting the package, though. They'll stop them from getting their tracking number. That's what it's going to stop. But I wanted to know because we got a letter from the post office talking about one of the packages, they didn't put enough mail on it, so it's going to come back to me and all that old type of mess. I was trying to make sure everybody had a tracking number so we can't get confused because, the devil just can't do all the way right. They can't. You know what they're saying is bullshit. Now, how do you know that? Because when you go to the post office and then they tell you what the postage is and you pay that you ain't supposed to have no more to do with that, right?
True, yeah.
So
exactly.
If it's not enough postage, whose fault is that?
Theirs.
The post office.
That's right. They tell you how much you owe and you pay it. That's it.
That's right.
That is right, but they find excuses to mess with people. But anyway, I can tell you all this. I know it seemed like a short class, but believe me, it was condensed, it was intense, it was packed, and you all got a lot more information than you think, and a lot to see. Let me explain something to you. It's not how much information you're getting that's coming through, because regardless of how this information coming through me, because your draconian gonna say, well, he's getting that from so. No, but the Most High is guiding me to the exact information. Are you to what? Do you follow what I'm saying? All information comes from who? Where does all information come from? All. Right.
Oh.
But people that think they're gonna go out and search the internet, go to the library, go to this person, that person, think they're gonna get the right. All this stuff out here, you would never ever find the correct information to get you nowhere. Nowhere.
That is true. That's true.
It's too much different stuff. You got to be guided. You got to be guided by the Most High. The only one in control and knows everything about creation is the creator of it. Let us not fall by pride, okay? I love you all more than you love yourselves, and one day, if you don't know it now, you will know it then. So what we need is your testimonies, your donations. We need support. And we need your testimonies, and we need you all. How many of you all are posting up the post?
Yes, I have been. I didn't get around to it today, though, honestly.
Yeah. How about you, Patah? Yeah.
Yes.
You posted it all over Facebook. I just don't ever see your name on the people posting. And I see some people's name where it said they looked at the post, but never. Katat, you get a chance to post up the post? Come in. Hello, Katat. Oh. Yeah. I follow. Okay. I love you all, but notice here that the real people post for real, right? And the real people going to get healed when they really need it. I done saw some things in advance. Believe me, no matter how sound you think you are, body and mind or youth, anything like that, life is very fragile. Believe what I tell you. Don't be remiss. Don't outrun yourself there, you know, because I do love you, and I am gonna be there for you, but you can't bring that thing with you. I love you all. Have a wonderful eternity. Amun-Re. Please write your testimonies and send them in right now, and your donations, and get your spiritual packages and participate. Post your stuff all over. Everybody that asked me to send them posts, that's a beautiful thing. But post up the posts you get everywhere. And don't let no reptilians grab the post and take it and try to make pretend it's coming from them and all that type of stuff. I can see that. I love you all.